Hey guys, I'm Fancy, and you're watching the Good Wives Network. And we don't get very political over here very often, but I do believe that the political presidential election and all of the things that are surrounding that are important news to bring our audience. So today, on July 1st of 2024, the Supreme Court says that Donald Trump is partially immune from prosecution. So what is that going to mean for his January 6 charges? Well, according to People magazine, in an article written by Kyler Alvord, Donald Trump has been deemed partially immune from his 2020 election subversion charges in one of the Supreme Court's highest profile cases of the term. Today, on Monday, July 1st, 2024, the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 against Trump's claims that he enjoys immunity from prosecution as a whole. But they still handed him a win, saying that he is absolutely immune from being charged for official presidential acts. Now, that is going to cause complication because we are not quite sure what the Supreme Court's definitions are of official presidential acts. So it goes on to be said that, we can hold former presidents accountable for their actions while in the White House. And there should be a clearer distinction between official presidential acts and private acts that happen to be done by a president. Quote unquote, the president enjoys no immunity for his unofficial acts, and not everything the president does is official. The president is not above the law, the court's syllabus reads. Quote, but under our system of separated powers, the president may not be prosecuted for exercising his core constitutional powers, and he is entitled to at least presumptive immunity from prosecution for his official acts. So some of Trump's January 6 charges, the Supreme Court did say that they stemmed from actions that he took in his official capacity as a president and are therefore shielded from protection. But his actions that fall more in line with those of a political candidate or a private citizen, not a sitting president, are fair game. So this is going to kick this back down to a lower court, and that court is now going to have to figure out whether any of the allegations in the January 6 case fall under the category of unofficial acts, and whether a fair January 6 trial could move forward with the Supreme Court's ideology in mind. Now, the clock is ticking before this November election goes down, and Trump's legal team had hoped that at very least the Supreme Court case would delay proceedings long enough for him to evade prosecution before voters take to the polls. The Justice Department has an unwritten 60-day rule in which federal prosecutors are discouraged from taking major steps in a criminal case within 60 days of an election if the case could have political implications. It's a standard practice, but it's not a firm guideline. And in 2016, they kind of disregarded this when the FBI director, James Comey, publicly reopened an investigation into Hillary Clinton's email servers days before the presidential election. So U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan is presiding over Trump's federal January 6 case, and she is not bound by that guidance as a member of the judiciary. And since the criminal case was brought by the DOJ well in advance of the election, she could still choose to schedule a trial close to the election, and federal prosecutors would be required to participate. So now there's only 5 months to election day. So this could be a nightmare for working the case and getting it back to trial. The primary issue for Chutkan is determining what Trump can still be prosecuted for, if anything, given the Supreme Court's broad interpretation of what counts as an official act. And then there's, all the different things about this timeline and trying to get this done before Election Day. And even Special Counsel Jack Smith has made it clear he is ready to work on a rush timeline, but he can only do so much with the slow-moving nature of the justice system and Trump's knack for finding ways to delay. The Supreme Court will be watching how Chutkan sorts out his charges and could potentially intervene again if the justices disagree with her decision making. Now, in 2023, the former president was indicted in 4 separate criminal cases. The first indictment was in his New York hush money case. That led a jury to a conviction in May on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records to conceal a scheme to corrupt the 2016 presidential election. In Trump's federal classified documents case, which centers around how he handled top secret documents at Mar-a-Lago after leaving the White House, he faces 40 felony counts, including a violation of the Espionage Act. That trial has been repeatedly delayed by Trump's appointed district judge, Eileen Cannon, and was indefinitely postponed in May due to various pending pretrial motions. The third indictment came from his federal January 6 case following the most wide-ranging investigation in DOJ history, according to the Attorney General. He was charged with conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, obstruction of and attempt to obstruct an official proceeding, and conspiracy against rights. Trump's final criminal case similarly deals with how Trump and his allies conspired to overturn Georgia's 2020 presidential election results. Trump faces 10 felony counts, including a violation of the Georgia RICO Act. And after a series of challenges and delays and appeals, court confirmed in June that trial will not begin before Election Day. So, now, Justice Sonia Sotomayor, she is one of the one of the Supreme Court judges, and she is very fearful about dissenting opinion in the immunity case. So she expressed fear for democracy with the court's new precedent that a president enjoys absolute immunity from broadly defined official acts. When the president uses his official powers in any way under the majority's reasoning, he now will be insulated from criminal prosecution, Sotomayor wrote in a dissenting opinion. Quote, orders the Navy SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival? Immune. Orders a military coup to hold on to power? Immune. Takes a bribe in exchange for a pardon? Immune. Immune. So the relationship between the president and the people he serves has shifted irrevocably in every use of official power. The president is now a king above the law, Justice Sonia Sotomayor says. She added that, in effect, conservative justices are sending the following message with their landmark decision. Let the president violate the law. Let him exploit the trappings of his office for personal gain. Let him use his official power for evil ends. Because if he knew that he may one day face liability for breaking the law, he might not be as bold and fearless as we would like him to believe or to be. Sotomayor admonished the cloak of immunity that now has been placed upon all past and future presidents, included by saying, with fear for our democracy, I dissent. Two other justices, Ellen Kagan and Ketanji Brown Jackson, joined in Sotomayor's dissenting opinion. So what is your thought process on this? Please keep it nice and respectful in the comments, but sound off and let us know what you think about this. Do you think that Donald Trump is going to face these charges? Do you think that the Supreme Court was right in their ruling? Let me know. Have a good one. From The Good Wives, serving up true crime, one dish at a time. Bye, guys.